Okay, we're going to see who all comes in, and we're going to be discussing Dean Koontz today. Uh, so, okay. Hey, Memphis, how you doing? Salute to you, bud. We're going to be talking about the author Dean Koontz today. I'm going to recommend two books of his uh, that I enjoyed. And we'll get some history about him. I'm just waiting to see if anybody else shows up. And I don't know if how much people knows about Dean. Uh, but we're gonna find out. Oh, hmm. I don't know. If still says one's watching. That's good. Oh, excuse me. And I think I just got notified. Uh, well, maybe not. That's okay. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Memphis. How about you? I got rid of everybody and got had a peaceful, quiet time at home. Everybody else, I mean, my sister and my cousin, they went to my cousin's daughter's house. I got rid of everybody but the dog. Me and the dog had a good time. But anyway, I got a couple books that I'm going to recommend by Dean Koontz, and I'm going to show a few other ones. Uh, and we're going to be talking about him. There's a lot of people that had questions about him, so I figure I'm going to fill in the questions. So, so, I'm trying to find certain people. I don't know if they're online or not, but look like it. And so we're just going to find out. He's all awake. It's early. Hey, Randy, how you doing, bud? I said hi to you last night, but I didn't. But I guess you didn't say that. Uh, we're going to be talking about Dean Koontz today. I'm going to fill people in about his pen names that he used back in the early days of his writing, all the way up to other stuff. Uh, good, good. I'm glad you're doing good, Randy. Uh, but anyway, I got a few books I'm going to go through, and I got two that I'm going to recommend for people to read of his. I wish I had some of his older stuff to show. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Randy. Haven't been better. It's America. How good you feel when there's certain people that walks out of your life. Five in the house. Anyway, four. Well, we got four in the house now. Anyway, I'll be telling you Dean Koontz's birthday, what year he was born, where he was born, his pen names, and even his wife's name, and when he got married. Uh, so hopefully people finds this information good. Uh, but one of the books I recommend from Dean Koontz is this one here, The Husband. This was an awesome read, and I enjoyed this. I really did. Uh, so this is one of the books I would recommend. And on the back it says, "You've got until midnight Wednesday. This is nuts. Where would I get $2 million? You'll find a way. It isn't possible. I'm a gardener. I've got maybe 11,000 in the bank. Just so you know, we're serious. See that guy across the street?" Still holding the phone to his ear, Bitch turned, saw a man walking a dog. The summer day had a porcelain glaze. Rifle fire shattered the stillness, and the dog walker went down, shot in the head. Midnight, Wednesday, Mitch. We're damn serious. That's what it says on the back. And another one that I want to recommend is Your Heart Belongs to Me. Now, I wasn't sure when I picked this up if I would enjoy it, but this is a complete 5-star. And this one here has, at 34, internet entrepreneur Ryan Perry seemed to have the world in his pocket until the first troubling symptoms appeared out of nowhere. Within days, he's diagnosed with incurable cardiomyopathy and finds himself on the waiting list for a heart transplant. It's it's his only hope, and dwindling fast, Ryan is about to lose it all: his health, his girlfriend Samantha, and his life. 1 year later, Ryan has never felt better. Business is good, and he hopes to renew his relationship with Samantha. Then the unmarked gifts begin to appear: a box of Valentine candy hearts, a heart pendant, most disturbing of all, a graphic heart surgery video, and the chilling message, your heart belongs to me. So this was awesome. I recommend this totally. The rest of the books I'm going to be showing is mainly books that I need to read. I haven't read these yet, but they all sound cool. They all sound good. Uh, of course, he does have a few. I mean, he does have a few series like Odd Thomas. He has the Frankenstein series, and he has the Jane Hawk series. So, Five in the House, welcome to the Five. Now, thing is, Dean Koontz was born July 9th, 1945, right before the war ended. He was born right before the war ended in 1945. Of course, uh, July 9th is coming up, and July 9th, I might even put down some of my books and read a Dean Koontz book for his birthday. Uh, Now, I do want to read something uh, right here. It says, Dean Koontz was born in July of 1945, a month before World War II ended in the Pacific. His childhood had a strong influence on his writing, and he grew older. Dean's father, Raymond Koontz, was extremely abusive to him and his mother. See, that's something you don't get to hear much. Uh, Now, I'm going to go into most of this later on about his pen names, but I do want to read this other part. Uh, Dean Koontz's identity was stolen by a person he had previously worked with professionally, who submitted letters and some articles to fanzines under Koontz's name between 1969 and at least the early 1970s. Now, that's pretty bad, people. That's pretty bad when people have to steal people's names, uh, and now we know why he used so many different names. I know he used at least 10. I heard 12, but but there's at least 10. Uh, and I'm doing this for people that is trying to find some of his older stuff and can't find Dean Koontz. He never wrote nothing uh, under the name Dean Koontz in the 60s and 70s. Uh, Honestly, I don't think he came out using his real name until late 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. I could be wrong about that. It could be just in the 90s, because I know the first part of the 80s he was still using the pen names. But his pen names, for people that wants to know, but what names he wrote under the following names: Aaron Wolf, Brian Coffey, David Axton, Deanna Dreyer, John Hill, K.R. Dreyer, Lee Nichols, Anthony North, Owen West, and Richard Page. Those are the names that I know of that is his pen names that he used to write under. Now he did say that he would never allow his older books ever be reprinted, because he left the horror and went to the suspense thrillers, and that's what he writes now, is suspense thrillers, and he don't consider horror no more. Even though I put it right up there against Stephen King any day, I'll put his writing against John Soules, Bentley Littles, and I mean, he is an awesome writer. Now, one of the ones that I'm going to show one book of the Jane Hawk series, and that's The Whispering Room. And it says, these are the words that ring in the mind of mild-mannered, beloved school teacher Cora Gunderson, just before she takes her own life and many others in a shocking act of carnage. When the disturbing contents of her secret journal are discovered, it seems certain that she must have been insane, but Jane Hawk knows better. In the wake of her husband's inexpectation, inexplicable suicides, and the equally mysterious deaths of scores of other exemplary individuals, Jane picks up the trail of a secret cabal of powerful players who thinks themselves above the law and beyond punishment. So that's just a little bit about this series. This is the Whispering Room, and it sounds good to me. Now, this book here, I have to make sure. That's something right here. It is signed by Dean Koontz, and this is The Silent Room. Pick this up. I didn't pick it up at Target because I don't go to Target, but I picked it up somewhere. I got it from Book Outlet, and this one here is. These are the chilling words left behind by a man who had everything to live for, but took his own life. In the aftermath, I guess this is still part of the Jane Hawk series. His widow, Jane Hawk, does what all her grief, fear, and fury demand: find the truth, no matter what. People of talent and accomplishment, people admired and happy and sound of mind, have been committing suicide in surprising numbers. When Jane seeks to learn why, she becomes the most wanted fugitive in America. So that's another Jane Hawk book. I didn't think I picked up two of them. Now, another one is By the Light of the Moon. And here's him and his dog. He goes everywhere with that dog. It's a pretty dog. Dylan O'Connor is a gifted young artist just trying to do the right thing in life. He's on his way to the Arts Festival in Santa Fe when he stops to get a room for himself and his 20-year-old artistic brother, Shep. But in a nightmarish instant, Dylan is attacked by the mysterious doctor, injected with a strange substance, and told that he now a carrier of something that will either kill him or transform his life into the most remarkable way. Now, I'm not reading everything on the flap, just parts of it. And so that's Light by the Moon. And I haven't read these ones, so another one is Breathless. In the stillness of a golden September afternoon, deep in the wilderness of the Rockies, a solitary craftsman, Grady Adams, and his magnificent Trish Wolfhound, Merlin. It's hard to read because it's white words on this orange cover. Step from the shadow into light, and into a encounter with enchantment. So I'm not even going to try to read that because it's white words on this type of color, and it blends in way too much with the color. So here's a better picture of his dog and him. Now, before we go any further, let's talk a little bit more about Dean Koontz. Like I said, he was born July 9th, 1945. Um, his novels are billed as suspense thrillers, but frequently incorporated elements of horror, fantasy, science fiction, mystery, and satire. Uh, Now, I did tell you the names, his pen names that he wrote under. So, and he is married to Gerda and Sarah, and they don't have no kids. I don't believe. I don't believe they had any kids. Uh, but Dean himself was born, like I said, July 9th, 1945. He was born in Everett, Pennsylvania, and his mom and dad's name is Florence and Raymond Koonts. He went to Shippensburg State College. He won a fiction competition sponsored by the Atlantic Monthly Magazine. Uh, his first novel, Star Quest, was published in 1968. Uh, which is a science fiction novel. Um, G.K. Chesterton did that. It encourages a joy about a gift of life. Koontz says that spirituality has always been part of his books, as our grace and our struggle as fallen souls. Uh, Koontz has stated that he began using pen names after several editors convinced him that authors who switched back and forth between different genres invariably fell victim to negative crossover alienation establishment fans. A Simmons is failing to pick up new ones. So that's why he started using the pen names. Uh, Whispers, I think I did show that one. No, I showed Whisper in the Room, not Whispers. Okay. Brian Herbert reads Dean Koontz. Now, Catherine Ramsland did publish a extensive biography of Koontz back in 1997 about him and his family. Uh, he did go underneath hair transplantation surgery in the late 1990s. Uh, Many of his novels are set around Orange County, California. That's where he lives since 2006. He lives there with his wife, Gerda, in Newport Coast. Behind California, behind the gates of Pelican Hills, In 2008, he was the world's sixth and most highly paid author, tied with John Grisham at $25 million annually. Uh, uh, they do go through and tell the eroticas that was supposed to be written by him, but he says he didn't write them, and that's between the 69 and 70 when someone stole his identity. He in 1979 he wrote the Chips episode uh, "Counterfeit" as Brian Coffey. In 1990, The Face of Fear. 1998, Phantoms, and 2005, Dean Koontz' Frankenstein. In 1977, Demon Seed was made into a movie by MGM. The Passengers was made into a movie by MGM in 1977. Universal Pictures made Watchers. Whispers was turned into a movie by Signpix in 1990. Watchers 2, Concord Pictures in 1990. The Face of Fear came out in 1990 on CBS. Servants of Twilight came out by Trimark in 1991. Watchers 3 came out in 1994 by Concord Pictures. Hideaway came out in 1995 by TriStar Pictures. Intensity came out in 1997 by Fox. Mr. Murder was made into a movie in 1998 by ABC. Phantoms, if you haven't read Phantoms, that is an awesome, awesome story. 1998, Miramax. So I can go on and on and on with the movies that he did, including the 2013 Odd Thomas. So we have a lot of stuff that Dean Koontz did. He, like I said before, he does not take second to nobody. Um, I have heard people say he's in the shadow of Stephen King. No, he's not in the shadow of Stephen King. It just seems like right now a lot of people is just finding him out. Now I do have another signed copy. The City. This one here is the riveting, soul-stirring story of Jonah Kirk, son of the exceptional singer, grandson of the formidable piano man, a musical prodigy, beginning to explore his own gifts when he crosses a group of extremely dangerous people with shattering consequences. So that's what this is about. And he wrote like 105 books, people. He has wrote about 105 books between the pen names and his real name, Dean Koontz. This one here is Mr. Murder. I've had this for a while, never did read it. A stylish, spellbinding tale from America's #1 best-selling master of suspense. Because because he has a happy marriage, two adorable small dollars, and a successful career. Mystery writer Marty Stillwater counts himself a lucky man, but all this is shattered when a stranger breaks into his home, into his house one rainy afternoon to announce, "You stole my wife, you stole my life, and you stole and my children. I want them back." Claiming to be the real Martin Stillwater, Mr. Murder. And the last book on the show is a very small book, Life Expectancy. Right there. Jimmy Tuck comes into the world uh, on the very night his grandfather leaves it. As a violent storm rages outside the hospital, Rudy Tuck spends long hours walking the corridors between the expansion father's waiting room and his dying father's bedside. It's a strange Virgil made all the stranger when at the very height of the storm's fury, Joseph Talk suddenly sits up in bed and speaks coherently for the first time and last time since his stroke. When he says, before he dies, is that there will be 5 dark days in the life of his grandson. Five five dates whose terrible events Jimmy Jimmy will have to prepare himself to face. The first is to occur with his 20th year, the second in his 23rd year, the third in his 28th, and fourth in his 29th, and the fifth in his 30th. So that sounds good. Uh, don't really have nobody chatting about this, but you're more than welcome to chat if you want to. We got 4 people in the house. Uh, but that's what now that's the life of Dean Koontz. And like I said, he left the horror with those other names and went and started writing suspense thrillers with his own name. Uh, and from what he says, he doesn't care for the books that he wrote in the 60s, 70s, and 80s because that's just not him no more, and he'll never have them reprinted. So if you want them, you have to find the originals. Uh, at least the originals to the point to where they was reprinted maybe in the 60s, 70s, and 80s also. So I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I'm going to get off of here, and you all take care, and I'll talk to you all later.